Hey guys, it's Jennifer and I have another update for you guys about my move to the UK. So without further ado, let's jump right in. All right, so same situation as the last time I was able to give an update. The lighting in here is not ideal. Literally the sun just went down behind the clouds. It was beautiful, wonderful, and then the sun went down. So that is what it is. I am once again at my parents' house in their sunroom. So I'm doing the best that I can, but lighting's going to come and go and shift. And I'm just not going to freak out about it. And we're just going to move on. So I have some pretty big updates for you guys. So since I last spoke to you and kind of shared where we were in the journey, there have been quite a few developments. So first of all, we sold our house. Woo! So we made it through inspection and the appraisal. So we are actually closing in 2 weeks. So that is the first major news. The next major news is that I got my visa. Woo! So I am ready to go. Our tickets are booked. We are moving at the end of the month. We will be there by the 1st of August. So that is very exciting. The third major news is that we moved our cats over. Woo! I mean, there's so many things here. But yeah, we flew our cats over to the UK. They are currently, same with my in-laws, they're going to watch them for us for the next couple weeks while we're getting everything finalized and paper signed and then moving over. So those are all major things. So let me talk to you a little bit about what the process has been like to get my visa and to get the cats over. So I mentioned this in my last video that we did do our biometric appointment in Boston, which is nowhere near where we are. We're in the South. That is in New England. So we did have to go back to Boston to pick up my visa, and that was fine. We did that. Let me tell you a little bit about what the process was like moving cats to another country. That was so far the craziest, most insane thing that I have ever done in my life. So the way that it is, and there are so many details to getting your pets safely to the UK or the EU. I'm not gonna go over all of that because it's huge, and all the information is online. I strongly recommend joining the Facebook group UK to US Pets UK to US, something like that, because that is where I got all my information. And we used a coordinator through Papa's Express. Cannot recommend them enough. They coordinated everything, the paperwork, the accreditation, everything. All we had to do was pay them and, make sure we had the vaccines up to date. And it was great. It was wonderful. So essentially the cats, our regular vet was USDA accredited, which was a big win. That was huge. Because we didn't have to find somebody that didn't know their history. So she was very familiar with their history. And then you are not allowed to fly to the UK with a pet in cabin. You can fly to the EU. So what we did is we flew to Amsterdam, and then we took a ferry from Amsterdam to the UK, and then we got a rental car and then drove the rest of the way to Alex's parents' house. So that is how we got our cats there. Cats in cabin, let me talk about that for a second. So I honestly did not know how they would do. They have lived a very small world and lived a very small life. We had no idea, if the journey would be stressful for them or what that would look like. We didn't know. So yeah, our vet gave us some relaxy, feel-good medicines for the kitty cats just to keep them, so that they weren't scared, and they pretty much slept. I mean, pretty much the whole way. We had to take a domestic flight first and then the international, and they did really good. There were actually other cats on our flight, and those cats were kicking off a little bit, which made me really happy that our cats were sleepy. And they were very relaxed. They weren't stressed. It wasn't scary for them. But when we got to the airport in Amsterdam, we had a 5-hour layover before we could go to the ferry. This was a big mistake. This was a huge mistake. What I thought in my mind was that we could let them out, walk around a little, you know what I mean? Like they'd be okay. No. Finn was fine. Trafford went ballistic. He went so ballistic. He was ready to get out of that carrier. He's never spent a lot of time in a carrier. He was so upset. He was so mad. He just went crazy. Started knocking on the sides, and I was like, "Oh man, we've got to help him calm down. This is a stressful experience." And we did. I took him out. I comforted him. And I did the best we could, but 5 hours was too long. It was too long. It was awful. That was the worst part of the whole journey. Once we got on the ferry, we had a pet-friendly cabin, and that was amazing. It was an overnight ferry, and when I tell you, both my kitties, they slept with me. I think I have a picture I'm going to put in, but Trafford literally slept at the bottom where he normally does. Finn slept right there next to me on my pillow. They did not move the whole night. They were ready to just be cozy and comfy and cuddly and get the journey over with. And then by the time we got them to my in-laws, they were ready to chill out. And I've gotten updates and pictures and video calls from them every day since, and they seem to be really happy and really adjusted. So they miss us, obviously. I think that they do, but they seem to be getting on great. They're eating well. They're using the bathroom well. They're playing all day, so they seem really good, which really makes us very happy. So when we move in a couple weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, I don't know what the calendar is in front of me, but we will take our dogs with us. So we're going through the process now of getting their paperwork done. So got the house sold, got the visa, got the cats moved over, getting ready to move the rest of us and the dogs over. And then we'll have our stuff shipped over as soon as we get a house. So the next part of our journey is purchasing a house. We are going to be staying in an Airbnb close to where we want to buy. So my husband will go straight to work because he's going to be remote and his job, like I said in my previous video, transferred. So he's going to be straight back at it. And it's going to be my job to try to find the house and prioritize that. Now, all of my British friends, I know already what the house buying process is going to be like. I have been well warned by my family members. I have been well warned by our friends. I have been well warned in the expat groups. I know it's going to be very stressful, but there's a couple things we're trying to do to mitigate that. We already have our funding and stuff in place because we already did all of that in prior approval. I've already got an attorney, a solicitor, ready to hit the ground running with us. We just need to find the house, and we are chain free, and we are primarily looking at houses that are chain free, if at all possible, just because it would make it a little bit easier. So we're going to be in an Airbnb for a little while, and then we will go back to my in-laws, hopefully while the house is, in the process of closing. So that's our next steps. And then of course, a job. So I am now in the process of applying. I have my visa, so I've been sending out applications. I've not gotten anything yet, but we'll see. Hopefully everything falls into place and everything works out. So there is the update. Moving in a couple of weeks. Very excited. Gonna have to find a house, but half of my family has made it over. We got the rest of us to go and sign those housing paperwork, the closing papers, and that's it. So I'm really, really, really getting very excited. So if you haven't subscribed so you can go on this journey with me. This is the craziest thing I've ever done. I want to make that very clear. My husband did this. He moved from the UK to the US. People do this all the time, all day, every day, but I've never done this. I studied in the UK for 1 semester. I've never been an immigrant and I've never lived abroad. And I am so excited about experiencing a whole new country and a whole new life and whole new cultures and customs and food and everything, all the things. Even though that I do visit the UK every year, and I feel like, I have a decent grasp on what life is like there, I don't. Because living in a place is very different than visiting a place. And I'm really excited. All right, guys, so stick with me, follow my journey, and I will see you guys in my next update. Hopefully from the other side of the pond. And I'll see you guys then. Bye.